everyone and very welcome to my YouTube channel Laiba's English Corner. So today we are going to discuss the modern age. So this is video number 7 on the history of modern language and literature. So the second last video overall after we have one topic left which is known as postmodernism. So let's start with the modern age. So modern age basically start when Queen Victoria died in 1901. Before modern age, there was Victorian age. The link will be available in the description. You can go and watch the full video in detail and then come toward the modern age. So basically Victorian age was lasted from 1837 to 1901 when she became the queen, and when she died in 1901 this age ended. So modern age was full of chaos, uncertainty and disasters. This age was affected by two wars, World War One and World War Two, which started around 1914 to 18, the First World War, and the second from 1939 to 1945. Along with it, there was a lot of developments and improvements in technology, in industries and all. So this is the modern age. Along with it, modern age writers want to differentiate themselves. They don't want the same writing as the Victorian writers have. They want the writing which is different. They want to make the writing unique, so they add different things in their writing, like self-consciousness, which means when they are writing, the writing is free without any narrative style, so they can write freely, and they can also they can put their thoughts into their writings. So this is modern age, a little introduction. Let's see the historical background of the modern age. So basically this movement started in 1910, especially in Europe and North America. The term modernism is widely used to identify new and exclusive features in the subjects, forms, concepts, and styles of literature. It was a reaction of increasing industrialization, globalization, new technology, and the world wars, especially the World War One. These are the things I have already told you into the introduction. That's basically modern age was from its name you can see modern things, like there was a lot of improvement in industries. As we have seen in our previous video, that Victorian age also saw a lot of improvement and development, like the ships were introduced, train were introduced, there was a lot of development in theaters, dramas and all. So in modern there was more development than that of the Victorian age. So there was more industrialization, there was more globalization. Along with it, new technologies was also introduced in the modern age, and especially the World War One and World War Two affect the modern age a lot. So now we will discuss the fields of modernism. As we have seen in our previous ages, so there were fields but very limited, but now in the modern age there are a lot of different fields. So it include science, psychology, painting, architecture, philosophy, anthropology, music, and sculpture. So these are the different fields of modernism from where we can see the knowledge was vast. There was a lot of improvement and development because there are multiple fields of subjects, multiple things that people were discovering at that time. Now we will discuss the major features of writing of modernism. So, number one, it include focus on the form rather than meaning. It means that the people were focusing on form rather than having its meaning. Then changes in culture, values and belief. There was a lot of changes in culture, values and beliefs. As in the previous ages, there was more focus on religion. But in this modern age, as there was a lot of development, there was a lot of improvement. So the people were changing their thinking. They were not only thinking about religion, but about multiple things, like the World War One affected a lot. World Wars Two were there. Along with it, there was a lot of improvement and development in different fields. So there was a lot of effects on those things on the writing of the modern age. And then importance of unconscious mind. As I have already told you that there was a term known as self-consciousness was introduced in the modern age, in which the writer was having a paper and a pen, sitting in the room in silence and write whatever they have in their mind. So that writing don't have to follow any kind of narrative structure, and that's just the writing, and that's what very famous at that time. T.S. Eliot, Virginia Woolf, these are some of the writers who introduced this type of writing. Then is interest in non-Western culture, like they were taking interest in the non-Western culture, like the culture of Asia and all. So at that time, these things was also there. Changes in technology, we have talked a lot on that. And then growing science, we have already discussed that science was introduced, science was developed a lot. Now we will discuss the next thing, which is drama as an emerging genre of the modern age. Previously, we have discussed that before Victorian age, drama saw a huge decline because the people of the lower class, which later on changed into the middle class, they were not having enough time to go into the theaters to enjoy the dramas. So what they were doing, they were studying, they were giving education to their children and all. So drama declined a lot. But in the in the Victorian age, there was theoretical innovations, yes. But in the modern age, drama was a major genre which developed a lot. So the drama, which had suffered a steep decline during the Victorian age, was revived with a great force at the beginning of the 20th century, and course of 6 decades had witnessed many trends and currents in the 20th century drama. I have already told you that in Victorian age drama was a little bit improved, not declined. But in the Victorian age too, people were moving from rural to urban areas and they also don't have enough time to watch the drama. But yes, in theaters there was a lot of innovations, but drama was re-emerged in the modern age. Now we will discuss the history of modern English drama during the modernist period. So we will zoom it out. So, the first and the earliest phase of modernism in English drama is marked by G.B. Shaw and John. So, G.B. Shaw and John were the first writers, and then in the second phase of the modernist age, Irish movement contributed by some elites like Yeats. So, J.B. Yeats also helped a lot in the improvement of drama, and in the third, T.S. Eliot and Christopher Fry were the one who developed the drama in this age. So this is a little bit background of the writers that who helped the drama to see more peak. So now we will discuss some of the major characteristic of drama. It include realism. I have already told you that realism is like that, focusing on the reality rather than the fiction things. So they were focusing on the reality and writing on the real things, because in the modern age there were enough topics to write, like there was World War I, World War II, along with it there was a lot of improvement, development, and some societal norms, so they were writing based on reality. Then play of ideas, they were focusing on ideas rather than action. Then there is romanticism. Basically romanticism is the love with nature. As I already told you that modern age was affected a lot by World War I and II, so people were having fear in their heart, they don't have enough time, and they were also feeling themselves to go outside and to enjoy the nature. So at that time the love with the nature was introduced too. So poetic plays were there in the type of poetry. Along with it, there was comedy of manners, which mean that there is a revival of comedy of manners in the modern drama literature. Oscar Wilde and Coward, etc., have done much to revive. Along with it, you have to remember one thing more, that some of the writers from Victorian age also wrote in the modern age. So it means that some of the writers were shared by both of the ages. Then there is impressionism, which means that effect of things and events on the mind of the people was there. Along with it, expressism was there. It was a movement that tries to express the feelings and emotions of the people rather than objects and events. So you have to remember these things. Now we will discuss some of the major novelists in the modernism. So Virginia Woolf was one of the famous. She also introduced the self-consciousness concept, and her famous novel is Jacob's Room to the Lighthouse. It is one of the famous novel, and other novels you can see. Along with it, she also wrote some essays like Room of One's Own, Profession of the Woman, and these. So you can see some of the pictures of her famous novel. And then another famous novelist, James Joyce, and his famous novels you can see. Ulysses was one of his most famous novels in the modern age. Joseph Conrad was one of the most famous novelists of the modern age, which include the famous novels like Lord Jim, Heart of Darkness, The Secret Agent, The Shadow Line, and Typhoon. So these are some of his famous novels. So you can see the picture of that. Along with it, Y.B. Yeats was the famous poet of the modern age, which include the poems like The Celtic Twilight, which is very famous, and the Ezra Pound. who was also very famous poet of this, and he wrote some of the books, essays, and poems. Books include the ABC of reading, essays like Make It New, poems The Return, and the Cantos. So these are the famous of his poems. Then T.S. Eliot, we have discussed it already, that T.S. Eliot was one of the famous poet of the modern age. Then Emily Dickinson was another famous poet of the modern age. So these are some of the storytelling or narration in modernism, that they don't follow any type of particular narration. They have free writing. They don't take mostly the thing from the past. They write their own things. They make it unique. So this is modern age, which is totally modern than other ages. A lot of developments and disasters like world war affect this age a lot. Thank you so much.